Today's video features a number of clips that I've downloaded from X and TikTok, which don't really fit into any of the videos I've posted recently. They're all just a bit too unusual, and shoehorning them in wouldn't have felt right. Confused? You will be. So let's kick off with this. I know it's a long shot, but maybe there's someone sat there at home who's been laying awake at night thinking, if only I could watch a young Amish woman dancing to AC/DC. There's a good chance that that woman actually works at some visitor centre called something like the Bygone Village, and she's not actually Amish. Or maybe she is Amish, and she's broken away from her, well, basically cult, and made friends with some normies. Now, in both those eventualities, there's a good chance that Thunderstruck wasn't the original backing music, but it put me in mind of an experience of mine back from the early 2000s, when I was in my early 20s. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I was sat in a pub with a few friends, and across the road and over on the village green, there were a group of Morris dancers warming up. If you're unfamiliar with Morris dancers because you're from outside the UK, no, I don't really have a description. Insane middle-aged men waving handkerchiefs at each other to the tune of folk music. Anyway, the Morris dancers were warming up, and at the second they began banging their sticks together, to the second, upon the jukebox in the pub came Firestarter by The Prodigy, and the Morris dancers were dancing in perfect time, to the point that I found myself wondering, are they listening to the same record? It's worth mentioning that back in the early 2000s, many of us were taking pills we hadn't got from our doctors. Next up, does anyone recall an extremely dark comedy series called Psychoville? It starred and was written by Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith, who had previously worked with Mark Gatiss on The League of Gentlemen, which was insanely dark. And one of the main characters in Psychoville was played by Dawn French and was called Joy Aston. And Joy was a psychotic midwife who had a child doll that she called Freddie Fruitcake, which she thought was alive. And as the series went on, it transpired she was stealing blood from the hospital and injecting it into Freddie. That's really weird. Surely there's no one who would do anything approaching that in real life. Pretending a child's doll was alive. Here we see a woman taking a doll to the seaside for a nice day out and acting as if it's her daughter. And of course, there's nothing wrong with pretending that dolls are real and sentient if you're a young child. But I'm guessing this woman is, what, late 20s, early 30s? And at one point, the camera moved, so she's not there alone. There is someone aiding and abetting her apparent meltdown. What has happened in the world that people feel compelled to show the rest of the planet what they get up to like this in their spare time? Next up is a clip, and I've seen dozens like this, which are very reflective of recent incidents.
This just in! Fantastic news! Donald Trump has been shot! But unfortunately, it just grazed him and it didn't kill him, so he's still probably going to be the president.
Although I said similar words yesterday, I'll state again that although I'm not a huge fan of Donald Trump, that doesn't mean I want to watch his head explode like the chap at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Or the guy at the beginning of the movie Scanners. Both those effects were done by the same effects team. Anyway, I think clips like this, of which there are hundreds, should be gathered together under the heading, I am tired of my present job, and at no point in the future do I wish to gain present employment. Because these are people posting their outrage and upset online because someone they don't agree with hasn't been publicly murdered. Let's do something a bit lighter.
I think the apple's rotten right to the core. From all the things we've done, from all the apples blooming before. I spent the apple down symmetrical lines. I wanna find us kinda scary. Makes me just wanna drive. I think the
What's going on there? that chap looks like he's cosplaying as... I don't know what they're called. The thing you use in the shower that looks a bit like a woman's scrunchie that you use to wash yourself, that has the texture somewhere between being a bath sponge and 40 grit sandpaper. He looks like one of those has come to life, as if some young child has seen a shooting star and really wasted their wish. Now, if that were me, if I'd taken all that effort to cover all of my body in that pink fluffy stuff, I'd make damn sure to do my hands and face as well, so no fucker knew who I was. Thankfully, there's only one clip left. I post a lot of videos on the whole gender ideology cult, as it were, but this next clip has got me stumped. We're about to see a biological male, a DNA male, albeit one wearing women's clothing, in front of a green screen he isn't using, so more effort than was required. And if you look carefully, he's also wearing a wedding ring. Who in their right mind married this thing?
Hi everyone, my name is Bunny. I use fun pronouns. So continuing on the video talking about the gender fey identities, there's one called gender floret. So gender floret and gender fey are pretty similar, where gender fey is gender fluid between agender identities and female. Gender floret is gender fluid amongst different agender, neutroid identities with some feelings of femininity that can come in every now and then, but never fully identifying as female. That's what I've got for gender floret. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
So that was Bunny. That's what's on your birth certificate, is it, Chief? Bunny explaining gender florets. Sorry, I thought florets were to do with broccoli and cauliflower, and there's a very easy joke about being a fucking vegetable. But no, according to Bunny, being gender floret means being agender, therefore being genderless, but also being feminine, but not so feminine that it becomes a feminine gender, because the feminine gender still has no gender, and the person explaining it is a man. Please, someone, make this make sense or make it fucking stop. Also, Bunny, we know he'll be using buns and bunnies as pronouns. They aren't pronouns. For the pronoun police, what you call pronouns are just nouns. My name is Danny. If I then put an apostrophe S after it, it doesn't make it a pronoun, it makes it a possessive noun. It means the next thing I say belongs to me. Anyway, that was me having the start of my own breakdown. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already, and as ever, thanks for watching. Downloaded from X and TikTok, which are so unusual they don't really fit into any of the other videos I've posted recently, and I can't remember what I'm saying. Either that young lady is Amish, in which case she's made friends with some normies. Normies with... Would mobile phones really freak... I'm guessing what's happened there is the... Oh, fuck it. I've just ripped the sole off my boot. Finally, the pothole wins. So that's Bunny explaining about gender floret gender. I think it's gender floret. So that's Bunny explaining about being gender florets. And forgive me if I fucked it up anyway. So that's Bunny. Oh, fuck this.